I mean, I felt, what do you say, you know, I felt sad, really. My mum used to tell me, you're being treated like a dog. Like, you know, well, actually a dog, because we had a dog and the dog was actually better treated than I was. You know, I remember one incident where I was supposed to go to the library and work, and I'd snuck down to my mum's to go and see my parents because I think they were getting worried about me. When I went down there, I think I still had a bruise on my arm, and my mum asked me the question and said, like, where did you get that bruise from? And I was tried to play it off as, you know, I was nothing. And she said, no, you don't, like, the position of that bruise on your arm. I think I tried to say that, I'd knocked it into a door or something like that. And she said, no, but I can see there's a claw mark, like, next to it, like a fingernails mark. She knew more then. And it was happening, you know, more frequently. And my ex had found out because she'd said, like, you know, I was getting constant messages all the time, constant phone calls, you know, where are you? And when she said to me, look, you can come back now, I'm home now, so I'll see you in 15 minutes. She tried ringing me. So I tried not answering. And then to which point she said, look, I know you with your mother, and if you are planning on coming back now, you're going to get a beating for it because you didn't go where I told you to go, and you weren't there for as long as I told you to be there for, and you've been discovered and you've lied to me. So you're going to get punished for that. So I got back, and then I had to stand there while I got kicked in the groin. I got scratched at, kicked at, clawed at, and then just, punished for it, for not being where I was supposed to be when I was supposed to be there. So that's when I felt it got to the point where I couldn't stay in this relationship any longer. I kind of had my doubts, but I was thinking more.
It's not a relationship. I wish he would stop saying that it is. And anybody watching this, I want you to know that this is not a relationship. This isn't a relationship. I don't know what the hell it is. This is torture. This is abuse, but this is not a relationship. He keeps describing it as a relationship or as my ex. No, this was your abuser. That's who this was. This was your abuser. Men, in any situation, you need to keep it real with yourself. You need to be honest with yourself, what you are, who you are, and what you're into. You're not in a relationship. You're being abused, sir. You are being abused. This is not your ex. This was the person who abused you mentally, physically, sexually. That's who that's who that is.
I'm more like, I need to try and do something drastic here. And I remember her saying to me once, the way things are going here, like, you really need to get back in line again. I said, well, I haven't really done anything out of line. And she said something flippantly, like laughing, like, oh, well, you know, I might actually end up even killing you.
Yeah.
After that point where she flippantly kind of said that to me, I started periodically taking screenshots of my phone and sending them to the messages and things off my phone, because she used to periodically go through my phone and delete things. So delete messages she sent to me. So I started doing it and sending them in secret to my mum. There were sometimes I didn't even sleep because I tried to stay awake all night so I could send as many messages and things as I could to my mum, because I figured if something happens to me, then at least she's got the evidence.
And how did you get out of the relationship, Gareth?
So I knew that my ex was out at an appointment and that she would be out for around an hour. So I'd arranged to kind of meet my mum in secret to go for a coffee, because I think my mum was becoming more and more worried about me. My ex had returned home, and she'd noticed that there was a packet of crisps missing from the drawer, and messaged me and said, did I take these? So I messaged, did I take a packet of crisps? So I messaged back and said, yeah, I just wanted to have something for my lunch. I'd hardly eaten in the day. So was that okay? And she messaged me back and she said, no, absolutely not, you greedy load of expletives. And she said, you're definitely not eating again. So my mum saw that message ping up on my phone and burst into tears. And I thought, well, I can't put my family through this any longer. And then I obviously, when I felt sad, I think even more sad for the fact that, my mum was broken down in tears in front of me and I didn't really know what to say or do. So I made a phone call to Mankind and I told them everything that was going on. And they said to me, this is all the signs of control and coercive behavior, and you need to get out and you need to, do it sooner rather than later for your own safety. So the next day, I had thought, right, this is time to do it. And I left with just the clothes on my back.
How did it feel to be out of the house, and how did it feel to be away from her, free?
At first, it felt really weird because, after the police came round and I told them, they were shocked. And the police had said to me, the amount that it had accelerated, that it was one of the worst cases of control and coercive behavior that they'd seen, and mainly because of how quickly things accelerated. We were only in a relationship for 8 months, and between the period of November to March or end of February, beginning of March time, the amount of abuse that had happened during that time, they'd never seen anything like it. I became suicidal. I'd tried to walk out into traffic quite a few times, and tried to do things with a knife and stuff in the kitchen. I tried to cut myself and things like that, when luckily I'd gone back with my parents and they'd stopped me at the time. And then they said, look, and I recognized at that point that I needed help. And then I went through therapy. So I went through psychotherapy, which took a long time. It took probably at least a year. Like, these things don't solve overnight. I knew it was going to be a long road, but I knew I needed to seek that help.
And what was the conviction that she was given after the court trial?
So she was given so she pleaded guilty 3 days into the trial, and she was given a 2-year suspended sentence with a mandated 35-day rehabilitation order by the judge and a 5-year restraining order against me and my parents.
And how did you feel about that conviction?
At the time, I felt frustrated about it, because I'd felt, if this was a male, then would it have been the same outcome?
Why?
No, it wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have been. It would have been much worse. It would have been much worse. Basically, she got nothing. Basically, nothing was done to her for torturing this man for 8 months, for threatening to kill him, abuse him. Nothing happened to her. And this is a very good lesson that us as men, that we need to understand, and that we need to help our sons understand, that it's not a fair game between men and women. It's not fair.